gamers of Reddit, what started your love for gaming? My dad started it. He used to play games on the computer and would let me sit on his lap while he played. I loved watching him. And he showed me how to use the controls so I could start playing myself. He had a computer for me across the table from his, and we used to play together. When I got better, we used to go to LAN stores and enter competitions together in Unreal Tournament, and a few times we even won. He was patient with me, and anything I failed at doing right in a game he taught me to laugh at instead of getting frustrated and angry. Some of my best memories is playing alongside him or watching him play. I still love that, and so does he. Sleepovers at my cousin's house. He had an Atari 2600 and I was hooked. My grandfather had an Atari 2600 with pinball. I loved it so much. I can literally play Atari 2600 pinball forever. One time I flipped the score over twice in one sitting. The key is getting the ball stuck in the vertical thing, and then there's a movement that will keep it in there forever. Man, I had a ton of fun with that game when I was a kid. It was 1978. I was in the skating rink. I was 8 years old and there were some video games off to the side. I had never seen anything like it before. I had seen pinball machines mostly on TV, but coin-operated video games were another matter. There was this Space Invaders machine, and it was calling me and calling me. I finally went over to investigate, and I found it to enjoy the cornucopia of illuminated invaders shooting down at your one-man base station, while you try to pick them all off only cost the price of $25. I almost didn't do any skating the whole time I was at the rink. I was so enthralled. I had already seen Pong, but I had a Pong console at home. This was something altogether different. Man, I wasn't even thinking in terms of arcade games. In that case, yeah, probably mid to late 70s. There was this drag racing game I'll never forget. It wasn't even a video game per se. You sat behind a steering wheel and in front of you was a plastic car. It moved side to side to give you the illusion of steering. The game was really nothing more than an exercise in timing the tree and hitting shift points at the right time without blowing the engine, indicated by a blown engine light. My dad actually. It was back in 2005 when MMORPGs were as popular as battle royales nowadays. Back then, me, my brother, and father used to play Flathalet, a party of 3 ready to enter and raid any dungeon or grind together. I think we played it for around 4 years. Dad quit on 2009 with his maximum character being LVL 118. The most I did was LVL 116 on my Elementor. I sometimes wish for these kind of games to come back. Nowadays, I play LOL along my 2 brothers. Dad no longer play with us, and that's for a really good reason. Why? Addicted. Nah, he just became a real shat and abandoned our family to marry another woman. Eel sad how the years might change someone that much. Minecraft and Halo. Same. 2013 I started playing Minecraft. I think it was back with the castle. You walked in and there was a red carpet, a stairway, and 2 side rooms. One had a room with a secret at the end, but there was lava. I played Halo Reach in that same time period, I think. I don't know really, but I loved Firefight. Just turning the setting to maximum basically and demolishing enemies. Story was good too. I love these games to this day and still play them. I know what kind of version you are talking about. I played that too. First Minecraft then Halo. Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation. Was amazed that the story kept going on and on and on. Morrowind was the main game that solidified this love, however. Such freedom to play again and again. Even before mods were thrown in. Nothing has ever touched Morrowind for me. Yeah, the graphics and combat are outdated, but you can be anything. Do anything. No invisible walls. No limits to your power. You can become a self-made demigod and millionaire, then swim endlessly across the ocean. Or loop in alchemy and break the very rules of physics of the universe. I had a friend W. Harlot did T. Hat. Ended up going so fast he was going out of boundary of the world and could basically only use hand to hand cause he broke every weapon in one hit because he hit so hard. Tried to rest to reset, but it took glitched number time. So ended up reloading a previous save. My father bought me the SNES and the original Gamma Boy on the same day back in 1990 along with a few games, but most notably Super Mario World and Super Mario Land. 5 minutes and I was hooked. Now it's been 30 years and I've owned almost every platform you can imagine since then, though I've gotten rid of most of them over the years, and I'm still going strong with no sign of ever stopping. I've gamed all my life because my father did, and I always adopted his older gaming PCs. And when I finally decided to build my own, he helped me with it. But my first love was Minecraft. Endless possibilities with what to do and how to be creative. However, I don't play it as much anymore since I've moved more towards competitive gaming since I've grown older. But I still love Minecraft and enjoy playing it to calm down from the more competitive kinds of games. My first experience of gaming, when my best friend got an Xbox 360. We used to play together almost every day. After a while, whenever I was free and I had nothing to do, gaming was my go-to, even when I'm watching a movie or TV show. After a while I would think to myself that I'd rather be gaming. So yeah, if I have time to burn, I'm mostly gaming. Not sure, I've always loved gaming. Probably when my mom played Pokemon Silver with me looking on before I could even read, from even before I could remember. Actually, I think it even helped me learn to read. Had an old Sega system, not sure what the model was, 1999 to 2000, with a game collection with a beat 'em up, Tetris, Sonic, and other games. When I was 2 or 3, same time as the Pokemon stuff, and a little after, I guess my love of gaming was cemented when we upgraded to an N64 with Mario 64, Mario Kart, and Smash. My older brother sneaking in past bedtime in the early 90s to play a racing game with me on our tiny black and white TV. I even remember a few years later my brother got to the end boss on Contra, paused it and turned off the TV so he could show me in the morning. Well, my older sister woke up and saw the Nintendo on, wigged out and turned it off. Still to this day I've never seen the final boss on Contra. Thanks C's. Lol. Wigged out. Oh my gosh. I swear the entire 90s just flashed before my eyes. Exclamation mark. Golden N64. It was the multiplayer experience and the fact that it was the first game I beat by myself at the age of 8. It was also the game I was playing when my dad told me he was leaving and not gonna be living with us. After that I sunk into this and other games as a way of escapism and dealing with what was happening in my family. It was video games and a strong, loving mother that kept me distracted and happy through it all. That's why games mean so much to me. They are my way to unwind and immerse myself in another world that's not my own. Playing SMB3 with my grandpap every night before bedtime when I stayed over his house when both parents were in the hospital. My dad had broken his leg slipping on ice going down some steps. My sister was sick with an infection, so my mom stayed with her. So I got to spend a week at my grandparents' house, and every night, Grandpap and I would start SMB3 and play as far as we could before it was bedtime. I honestly don't know. I've been playing video games for so long that I can't remember what my first video game even was. I can remember always being drawn to them as a young child. If there was a Super Nintendo or an N64 or something, I always wanted to play it. I played PC games before I ever had a console of my own simply because we already had a computer, but I couldn't tell you where it all started. I was just predisposed to it. I relate to this so hard. Video games have been such a huge part of my life. My dad, as much as he hates video games now, used to play Warcraft 2 with me and my siblings. Then Warcraft 3 came out, and he didn't want to change. But Warcraft 2 stopped working on Mac, so he just stopped playing and I didn't. I got started the same way. I saw my dad play Warcraft 2, but it was too fast paced for him. Good thing he never got into multiplayer StarCraft. He played the campaign, but that was it. We have another game, Icewind Dale 2nd, which has a feature where you can pause the game and give commands to each character individually. After he played that, he kept trying to pause Warcraft 2 with a spacebar every time someone shot at him, so that he could give different commands to each unit. It got frustrating to him, that he had to respond in real time and lose units because of clunky controls. He plays Master of Orient 2 now. Somebody on Reddit suggested Stellaris as a similar game, but I haven't convinced him to buy it because he plays too much on the computer as it is. Fair enough, I guess. Anyway, my gaming experience went a different direction. I saw him playing Warcraft 2 when both myself and the game were only a few years old. We also had an old version of SimCity on our computer at the time, and I tried, poorly, to play it. But all I ended up doing was demolishing the airport runway and trying to repave it. I couldn't. I just ended up with normal road. I wanted to make the rest of the city have cool road, runway, and never figured out how to pave it. I remember little about that computer. It was from 1994, and we replaced it in 2001. The 2001 computer was the one we had for the longest time. By this point I was playing Warcraft 2, and whatever other kid games there were. I also had SimCity 4, which I sunk many hours into. Later, by the time I was a preteen, there was Warcraft 3. The game had been out for a long time, but it wasn't until this point that my parents even bought it for me. Then there was the first StarCraft. I didn't like the first StarCraft very much because I wasn't willing to try and command more than one army at a time, meaning that I couldn't beat the campaign. Then, in 2014, the ancient 2001 computer finally died. The thing was practically useless insofar as internet was concerned. No joke. My homework page took an hour to load because they embedded a 5-minute video in it. It didn't even autoplay. The computer just sucked that hard. With the new computer came StarCraft 2. It was the first time in my life I'd ever played an online game, and I was blown away by the graphics. I was only on medium settings. 2. The tragedy here was Warcraft 3. You see, in high school, I had given the disc for it to my friend at the time, and never got it back. Dominic, I hope you enjoyed that game as much as I did. Also, SimCity 4 didn't work anymore because it was too old and glitchy to run properly. Well, eventually the hard drive died on that computer, and we got a new one for it. That drive is the one that I'm currently using. I'll explain how that came to be in a bit. Then the motherboard on that computer died. We took the drive out and I kept it in my room. My parents got another computer, and it's the one they currently still use. Nothing was special about this one. That is, until I decided that I wanted to get my own computer that would run StarCraft 2 on the highest graphics settings possible. Well, I had just finished college at this point, so it's not like I had to keep amassing money for tuition to suck it away every few months. I bought a computer and installed the aforementioned hard drive into it. Then I bought Warcraft 3 Reforged. It sucks, but it doesn't, because I finally have one of my childhood games back with better graphics. As for SimCity 4, I bought Cities Skylines instead. There have been other games coming and going in this story, but it all began with Warcraft 2. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.